moment to share my screen. All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
All right. So about SWI, as we all know, Success Within International is a faith-based organization with the principal aim of igniting the success power within people with emphasis on the youth. So yes, we're a faith-based organization and all of our activities are driven around this, about who we are. This is our core. Our goal is to ignite the success power, which is all around talking about your finances, talking about your career, which I mean, today we're talking about the career, talking about businesses, talking about your spiritual life, talking about physical health. Please, who enjoyed our health session last month? You can just unmute and say something. Our health session last month was
Me.
so beautiful. We had our daily fitness challenge, which was very exciting. And I mean, yay! Apologies. Can everyone hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry. My network went on. Again. Okay, so I was saying that can someone tell me the vision of SWI? We've said this in every single one of our meetings, so I'm sure we have some people who know it by heart already. So who wants to go? Who'd like to go? The vision of SWI. Oh, Luasho, yay! We need to make you an ex already. This is like you got it word for word. So our vision is to raise people, a lot of people in this room. I mean, we're all from different parts of the world. We're all joining from different parts. So our goal is that wherever you are in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, you are well represented, you are relevant where in your space, in your industry. So yeah, that's our vision at SWI. So we have our core values, which is which has an acronym. Who can tell us the acronym? Who knows the acronym for our core values? Anybody, 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 anybody? Okay, I'll help you.
Eat.
The acronym for our core values is S. Uh-huh. Is anybody going to complete it for me? We have SSPEEDD, speed. So what it says is spirituality. Let me just go there. So we have spirituality. I mean, like I said, we're a faith-based organization, and that's why the first thing we did on this call was to pray. So everything we do is given by the inspiration of God, and it is profitable, for us in our different aspects of life. We have synergy. I'm sure you've already seen an example of that. We are very synergized. We are a team. We work together in unity. We have a very good bond. Third is passion. We're passionate about what we do. That's why we would come every month for breakfast meeting just to ensure that you learn, I learn, and we are all able to live exemplary lifestyles. So all of these things we're learning, we're not just getting them for knowledge sake, we're able to, apply them and to be global leaders. Next is excellence in everything we do. We ensure our best to do it with excellence. I mean, we're children of God, and I mean, our God is an excellent God. So definitely, we also have to, represent Him. Next is discipline. We are very disciplined. I mean, there's some times that it's not very easy to do some of the things that we do, but because of our commitment and our discipline, we always ensure to do them. And even in things that we learn, I mean, I'm not going to teach you something and then I am unable to apply those same things. So we're very disciplined to all that we do. And then you have diligence, which is the last of our core values. So up next is our mission. Our mission, the first, is to help nurture youth for creativity and excellence. We want to teach youth God's way of success because, I mean, there's the world's way and then there's God's way of success. So we want to teach and learn ourselves God's way of success. We also want to help youth discover talent and purpose. We want to raise an army of people who will take over the economy positively. I mean, if we're complaining about Nigeria, if we're complaining about, the way the economy of Nigeria is, I mean, we want to have people who can take over the economy positively and apply some of these learnings. We also want to help people ignite their potentials. We know that there's a fire in everybody. Sometimes it's a spark and it just needs to be ignited. So we are here to help you ignite the fire in you. So that is that about SWI. And I think I'm tempted to ask someone to tell me one thing that they've just learned about SWI. Who do I pick? 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 Okay, Kolajo, can you just tell us something that you just got to know about SWI? Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Okay, I'm in the comment section. I'm just in the chat box. So I'm seeing SSPED. I mean, that's very close. Thank you. It's SSPEED. So that's synergy, spirituality, passion, exemplary lifestyle, excellence, diligence, discipline. So Rosalind says make impact economically globally. Thank you. Thank you so much guys for listening. I'm glad. This is who we are at SWI. So very quickly, I would be introducing our guest speaker. She's here now and very soon she's going to take over and pour from her numerous years of experience. So in our midst, we have Mrs. Orolua Adekoya. She's the head of customer supply chain at Nestle Central. And let me not talk too much, but I'll give her the time to introduce herself. But she has years of experience. And I mean, if she's the head of customer supply chain at a place like Nestle, then you can, we're talking about professional growth guarding here. So you can be assured that she's about to give you, very practical life life learnings that we can apply and expect that would grow. So Mrs. A, give it up for Mrs. A. Good afternoon, ma, or good morning, ma.
Good
Mrs. A.
morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can, loud
Okay.
and clear.
Okay. All right. All right.
Welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I do not take it for granted. I really, really appreciate it. And hello to everyone that is on the call this morning. I'm really excited to be here. And this morning I am actually at a what will I call it now? At a prayer session, I'll put it that way. And I was praying and I was asking God that, you know, what am I going to say here this morning? And I just spent some time praying about this meeting. And I'm like, hey, God, I don't know the people that I'm talking to. And I got in, and the first thing I heard was we're a faith-based organization. I was like, oh, wow, 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 that's so beautiful, And then I saw the mission to teach youth God's way, and I said, okay, I'm at home. I'm at home, so I can speak freely from my perspective. Yeah, because really everything when it comes to career, yes, you can have all the strategies, you have all the principles and everything, but you cannot take away our supernatural advantage. And that's really what I want to emphasize here this morning, and I will. So I'm glad that I'm home and I can talk freely as I like. So thank you once again for having me. Dupe chased me. Dupe was like a thorn in my flesh. Jesus. Like Dupe will call, send message, Mrs. A, Mrs. A. Ah, good. All right. Okay, so let's get right into it. So how much time do I have? Please, can someone confirm? I want to ensure that I stick
This means
within
you
the
have
time.
about 45 minutes,
Beautiful, beautiful. 45
but
minutes.
you can use
Okay.
as much time as you want.
All right. Okay then. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Oluwa Adekoya, as you probably know, and really I'm a girl that has been helped by God. And I know it sounds like a cliche. It sounds like, oh yeah, 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 get to the main thing. But really that's the main thing. And the reason why I'm even here today is because I'm simply a girl that has been helped by God. That's it. A few years ago, I think like 3 years, my pastor said to me, and he said, all right, what are you doing about your career? Can't you see that God is blessing you, and how are you using that to bless other people? And that's when I started looking at myself differently, that okay, that I really have been blessed by God and have been favored by God, and how am I giving back, right? And I don't take these kind of opportunities for granted, because there are avenues for me to tell my story, of really being helped by God. Really, it's not a story of what I've done or what I've achieved and all the 10 principles. Yes, we'll talk about all the principles and everything, but as Christians, we can't undermine the importance of spirituality and the importance of the hand of God upon our career. God delights in taking the most unqualified people, and then raising them up and shining the light on them. And you keep asking God, why me? Why me? Why me? So if you feel like you are nothing, if you feel like you don't have anything, you don't have any skills, like there's nothing special about you and all that, welcome. You are home, because those are the kind of people that God loves to use. God loves to use people that are, that don't have it all, that are not put together and all, but God takes something that looks so unusable, something that looks like, oh, there's nothing here. And then once he shines his light on you, and then there's no limit to where he can take you to. Right. Okay. So back to my bio. So um let me see. I studied economics at the University of Lagos. And let me tell you why I studied economics. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I was I was confused. Like, so okay, so my dad is a doctor, right? And as a doctor's child in those days, I don't know how the doctors are now, but in those days, if your dad is a doctor, of course, your dad will expect you to toe his line. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm the last child. And his other four children, none of them were doctors. So I was his last hope that this girl, she must study medicine. So unfortunately, I was like, okay, let me study medicine. Unfortunately, my dad he noticed that I was having a bit of doubts. So he went to bring some of his medical books and said, oh, read it and see, that was the end for me. I said, eh? All those medical books that are facts like this. I didn't even start it. I said, is this what I'm going to be reading all my life? Hey, I said, no way, no way. And that was it for me. I just knew that, okay, I'm not going to do medicine. Then I said, everybody was talking about computer, computer, computer. I said, okay, let me put in for computer science. So I did my jump, and then I uh, I think I did physics, chemistry, and the four subjects that I required for computer science. Yeah. But that jump was hard. Hey, even the physics, I was looking at the physics like that. I'm like, this is not the physics that they taught us in school. Oh. Anyway, I shall finally did the jump. I came out. I said, God, what kind of jam was this again? Sorry, Ronke, you're saying something? Ronke, I didn't hear what you said.
I'm not sure she knows she's.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so after that jam, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, it was fortunately, I don't know, they did not release the result. If you see how happy I was that they did not release, because I don't know how my heart will have taken it if I had gotten 170 or because I know that I did not pass that jam. So I knew that I had to do another jam. So I did another jam. And this time I said, okay, I'm not doing computer science. I now started thinking that, okay, what's the general course that if you do it, you can venture into anything in life? I said, economics. And then I did economics in secondary school and I liked it. I said, okay, let me do economics. And they released my results. When they released the result, I was 1 mark away from the cutoff for Unilag. Again, fortunately, or no, it's not unfortunately, but it's fortunately, I was my state. I'm from Osun State, and it's within the catchment area. So the Osun State cutoff was lower than was on like that 1 mark lower than the general cutoff, and then that's how I got into Unilag and I studied economics. So I came out of I graduated from Unilag and then I went to serve. So one of my friends, she was the year my senior in okay, sorry, please could you mute your mic if you're not speaking? Thank you. Okay. So I'm just saying all this to give you guys a background and to make you see that the story of my life is not aspire to perspire to respire to everything, blah blah blah, but it's really just the hand of God that has been on my life all through, right? So a friend of mine that was a year my senior in school, she was already working in an investment bank, and then she told me, oh, there's this job opening and I want you to apply. So I applied for it, and then I got in even before I finished NYSC. I had already gotten the job, so I started there as a research analyst, and I worked there for around 14 months. But then I knew that this is not what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that this is not what I want to do, because if I don't know if anyone here works in an investment bank. Investment banks are stressful, very stressful. And then I was getting married that year, and I was like, is this how I want to enter my husband's house? I'll be coming home by 10. My holidays are not for me and stuff. I have to go to work. So I just started looking. I just started looking for job opportunities. And then what I would do is I'll get to the office by 7. And then from 7 to 8, I'll use that to search for jobs. Search, I'll apply. I threw my CV everywhere, anything, executive assistant, whatever it is. I just need to apply because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I saw an opening for Nestle. It was called Supply Chain Graduate Trainee. I'd never heard of supply chain in my life, in my entire life. All I saw was, I saw Nestle and I saw graduate trainee. I said, I want to work in Nestle. Then it's graduate trainee. It means that they will train me. I said, okay, let me apply. And then I applied and I started the process and all that. Of course, I went to read about supply chain and what supply chain was about. And so when they asked me in the interview, I just poured all my theory that I had read and stuff. And one way or the other, they bought into all my stories, and then I was employed at Nestle, and so I have been in Nestle for 12 years, right? And even me, I look back and I'm like, how did I spend 12 years? How have I spent 12 years in Nestle? I really didn't plan to spend this long. I remember times when I think in my 5th year thereabout that I was frustrated, and I said, if I not even it was even no, before that, before I got to my 5th year, earlier on, I said, I can't stay here again, or that I need to move out. And I had started applying. So I applied to other companies and I got an offer from I think it was PZ. So as at that time, Nestle was paying me, I think 3 million per annum, if I remember correctly, something like that, 3 million per annum. And then PZ was offering 4 million. At that time, 3 million to 4 million, it was a big move. Like, I'm earning a whole, that was gross anyway. It's not net. I was earning a whole 1 million naira extra per annum. And this was in, what year was this now? Maybe like 2016-ish or 2014. It was a lot of money at that time. And I said, let me move. Oh. So I don't even know what happened. I just said, let me talk to my boss, which doesn't make sense. Why are you talking to? Why are you discussing? You got an offer. Why you should be dropping your resignation letter with your boss and not discussing? But I just felt like I should discuss with him, and I told him that, boss, I got an offer in PZ, and his first thing he asked was, how much are they paying you? I said 4 million. He said, what position? I said, same position. He said, don't go. And I said, why? He said, if you're going to move for either of two things. Move for double your salary or move for a managerial position. And I looked at him and I'm like, this guy, are you okay? I'm an entry level. Where am I going to get double my salary? That means that I'm earning 6 million. Who will pay me that? And as a manager, what do I know that they are taking me as manager and all? But I decided to listen to him. I just listened and then I stayed. But looking back, those were such wise words, right? Because I was still at the end of my career, and as with a lot of young people, you're just we really don't know what you want. So you're just jumping up and down. Oh, somebody gives you more money, you move. Somebody gives you move, and then I was just for 1 million, I would have thrown away all that I could possibly be in Nestle, right? And so I stayed. But then after a while, he stopped being my manager. I got another manager, and I was like, okay, I'm not moving anymore. Yes, I had been promoted like maybe 1 or 2 times, and I just felt like I wasn't moving, and it was things just looked um very static, right? And I said, God, what's happening? What's happening? And I started applying, but in fact, the applicant, I don't even, maybe I wasn't getting what I wanted. It was like I was just stuck in a rut, you know. But then I started talking to people even within Nestle, like, okay, I want to move to another department. Marketing was the in thing then, and a lot of them were managers. I used to look at them like, manager. Okay, so I noticed that the host muted everyone. So I don't know what you heard last, but I would just backtrack a bit. So I was saying that I was stuck for a while, and then I now decided that, okay, let me move to the marketing department, because a lot of them in marketing were managers, and manager, you get car grants, they'll give you money to buy car, and then you have title, you are a manager. So I said, oh, let me move to this, since supply chain was not giving me the manager that I wanted. Let me move to where the manager, whatever. So I started talking to the people there that, oh, I want to move, oh, I'm interested. Oh, I did a couple of interviews, and again, fortunately or unfortunately, my own boss, then the head of supply chain, blocked it. I did the interview, and then the guy told HR that I'm not ready to release her, so they should not move ahead. I got to know this later, but in my front, he was telling me that, oh yeah, apply. But it was later that HR was telling me that, oh, your boss did not approve your move. And I'm like, this kind of boss, this kind of people that want to frustrate me. Like, promote me, will not promote me. I want to move, you're frustrating my move. As in, what's all this nonsense? So I should have stayed. And then we got a new head of department, and I started working with that guy. And really, he was just a blessing in my life. He was really a blessing, and he pushed me to do extra. In fact, you won't believe that on the job that I was doing. So one of my colleagues resigned, and instead of replacing that role, he said, all right, take up that responsibility. And I'm like, what kind of wickedness is this? Like, how would you be telling me to do two jobs? And then he looked at me and he said, all right, I know that you can do it. So do it. So I started doing it. Then my boss was on my own direct boss. She was pregnant, and then she went on maternity leave. And then he said, oh, you are her backup. So that means I was doing three people's job. I was doing my job. I was doing my colleague's job. And I was backing off on my boss. I'm like, that period was tough, was really, really tough. But I did it. I don't know why. I just put it, and until until one day when I goofed. I think I was supposed to do something, and then I totally forgot. And that really impacted one of our KPIs in the office. Then my boss looked at me and said, okay, okay, it's time to get a replacement for that other role. So they started recruiting for that other role, and then my boss, she wanted to take some extra time for her maternity leave, but the head of department called her and said, okay, you need to come back. Aura is handling a lot and stuff. And then she came back. It wasn't long after that, I think maybe 1 year after that, my boss got moved to another department. And then the head of supply chain just called me to his office, and then he said, all right, so your boss is moving to another department, and then congratulations, you are taking over as the head of that team. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, yeah, yeah. I never experienced it. Like literally. Let me backtrack a bit. So somewhere along that time, when I was doing three people's job, remember I had gone to marketing and told them that, oh, I wanted a position in marketing and all. So the lady came to meet me one day and said, all right, I have a position for you. Somebody is leaving and all that. I looked her straight in the eye and I said, I don't want. It was shocked. Even me, I was shocked at myself because I don't know how those words came out of my mouth. I said, I'm not interested. Then what do you mean? I said, well, my boss is on maternity leave. She said, leave your boss, forget your boss. Are you going to use your boss's life to determine your own life? That plan your own life. She's there, she's pregnant, she's having babies, and you are here saying my boss is on maternity leave, I can't leave. I said, I can't leave. And looking back, I believe that I was being led by God, looking back now, because I was not a manager in supply chain where I was. I didn't have anything that was telling me that I was going to be a manager. I had nothing. And then I had an offer of a managerial position staring at me, and I was saying, no, it looks very stupid. It looks very, very stupid. But like I said, looking back, I believe that I was just led by God. And eventually I became the manager of my department and all. And the head of supply chain at that time gave me a lot of support because I was reporting directly to him, gave me a lot of support, held my hand, on because I had never been a manager before. And how to manage people, how to get the best out of my team, how to motivate them and all and all and all, and then I had done that I think I did that for 2 years. And then I got another promotion. I said, okay, life is good on this side, and I was okay. I was happy. And then I started getting dissatisfied again, and then I got another promotion and I got moved to another role. I said, okay, okay, okay. Then I got another promotion. I said, all right, all right. So this is actually what God had in plan for me all the while, right? And in the last, let me say, in the last 5 years, the way both my role, my position, my earnings has moved, and I get thinking, what if I was in PZ? What if I had taken that 4 million naira job? What if I had even taken that marketing job that they offered me? Guess what? The person that took the marketing job is still on that manager level. Yeah. So for me, manager was very big. Oh, I want to be a manager, so I can put manager on my CV and all that. But guess what? I've left them behind where they are. So I have moved 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of where I would have been if I had moved. And then looking back, it was just, really being led by God and being guided by God, right? So I just said all that just to give you my background to say, yes, I'm going to talk to you on a few things, a few tips and all that. But really, you can never take away the importance of acknowledging God. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. In all your ways, acknowledge him. This is my new role. I just want to give an example of acknowledging God and asking him to direct your path. So I was offered a new role, and the role is supposed to be in Ghana because Nestle's regional office is in Ghana. It's not in Nigeria. And so I thought about it. It's an expatriate role. I'm going to be an expatriate. Like, I'm going to be in Ghana. They're going to pay for my house. They're going to pay for my children's school fees. And it's going to be a big girl. Like, and then I looked at it and I was seriously in a dilemma because one, I was going to be paid in foreign currency. And in this economy, it's not a is not a foreign currency, is not a small matter, right? I was going to get school. My children were going to go to like the equivalent of AIS, American International School, British International School. I'm going to get a house, like a 5-bedroom apartment to myself and stuff. It was really a big deal. But then I looked at the other side and I said, my husband is a pastor. My husband is a pastor. And we both pastor a church here. My husband is also a senior manager at his work. So obviously he's not going to move with me. If I'm going to move, I'm moving alone. And I thought about the impact on my family. So I'm going to move alone with my kids. My husband will be here. We'll be doing long distance relationship. And I was like, do I want this? Do I want this? And it was a really, really tough decision. Really. So I asked my boss, I said, can I do it remotely? Like, can I do it from Nigeria? My boss said, no, you need the regional office is in Ghana. You need to be there. You need to, be around the people and all that. And I thought about it. I thought about it. And if left to me, I wanted to take it. Left to me. I really, really wanted to take it. Right. And um, I decided to go and talk to my pastor. And so I talked to my pastor and I said, see, I'm facing this thing. They said, go and pray. Honestly to God, I prayed, but I kept hearing, go, go, go. Of course, I heard what I wanted to hear because how will I hear that I should not take the job? How? I said, the facts were too good. So I went back to meet my pastor. I said, I'm going. He said, Ore, you are hearing yourself. You are hearing yourself. He now looked at me and he said, Ore, don't go. Ah, at that point, I felt two different things. One, I felt a peace that I knew all along that I should not go. But at the same time, I also felt sad that, so I'm going to give up all these things and all. But deep down inside, I knew. As he just said, don't go. All the emotions, all the blah, 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 it just watered down. And I said, okay, now let me balance this, right? Um, it was a confirmation of what I already knew. I was just too cowardly to accept. And I'm not even and I don't want us to, because there's another extreme of where people cannot do anything unless their pastor tells them, oh, pastor say I should do this, pastor say I should do this. A pastor's word is supposed to be a confirmation of what God has told you. You are not supposed to be led solely by pastor. The Bible says, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. So you are a son of God and God leads you, right? So don't go saying, oh, my pastor said I should do this, my pastor said I should do this, if you don't have that confirmation. A pastor's word is supposed to confirm what God has already told you. There's sometimes when you are not sure, you're saying, is it God? Is it God? And the pastor helps to provide that clarity for you, which is what my pastor did for me. As he said it, I just calmed down. Because I knew in my heart that this was what I was supposed to do. I was just being blinded by all the money and everything and everything. And so I went back to my boss and I said, thank you very much for the opportunity, but I'm not going to take this position. My boss was shocked. Like, is this guy mad? Is something wrong with this guy? Like, I'm giving you such a, my boss was even selling the role to me that, already with all that is happening in Nigeria with this dollar, you are insulated. Your children, they'll go to international school. I said, I know everything. I know, but I'm not taking it. And he looked at me like, I said, okay. He said, so what do you want? I said, I've told you what I wanted. I want to do it from Nigeria. I said, is that what you want? I said, yes. And then he said, okay. And I looked at, I said, but he said it's not possible. He said, do you want it or you don't want it? But and then I said, yes, I want. And then I took it. And guess what? That was the very best decision for me. Very, very best decision. So I'm currently doing an MBA, right? And my MBA requires me to travel to the UK like every 2 months or thereabouts. I don't have anybody monitoring me. I'm in Nigeria. I don't have boss in Nigeria. I don't have team in Nigeria. I don't have anybody in Nigeria. I enter UK, I come back. Everybody just knows, oh, Aura is working, she's delivering. But if I was in the Ghana office, I can't do that. I can't be escaping and coming back and blah, blah, blah. I can't do that. So where I am gives me the freedom to do what I want to do. And I'm like, God, I would have been blinded by, all the perks and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? God is the one that sees the future from the beginning. Because a lot of times we are looking at like the 4 million naira that I was being offered at PZ. I was looking at 4 million is a lot of money and everything. But God was seeing where I am today, and he was saying, hey, hey, hey. And he sent my boss at that time to tell me that stay where you are and don't move for all this small, whatever. Right. So, God sees the end from the beginning, and God is the one saying, I'm guiding. Don't be blinded by these small pegs and these small things here and there. I have a future for I know the plans that I have for you, plans of good and not of evil, to bring you a future and a hope, right? And so he knew where I am today, and that for this where I am today, I need to be in Nigeria. I need to have the freedom to do what I want to do. And I believe that God honored my sacrifice because I hadn't even done that role for 6 months. I had done the role I started in September 2022. By April 2023, I had gotten another promotion. I said, what are you promoting me for? What did I achieve? I've not even learned the work that you people gave me. You're already promoting me. And of course, it's not now. I know that it's not by anything that I did. It's not by any gra or whatever. But it was just God that favored me on that road. And I believe that God honored my sacrifice. That said, okay, I didn't choose to look at all the other things that I chose to. Okay, I need to be here with my family, here with church and all that. And then, I just believe that God was the one blessing me and all, right? So I just said all that to give everyone a background of the foundation, right? Yes, you can, do all you can. You should be diligent. You should, work hard and all that. But always acknowledge the Lord in your career decision. You only know today. You don't know tomorrow. You don't know next year. You don't know 5 years. But God is the one that knows. And you need to bring him into your decision making. He needs to be in your decision making when you want to choose a job, and sometimes God just needs your heart. God needs your heart. Like there are difficult. There are decisions that are difficult to make, especially when you see a 4 million naira staring at you or an expectation staring at you and all that. And in those instances, God looks at your heart and sends you the right people. God, in all those times, God sent me the right people that helped me when I was not even able to make that decision. It helped me make the right decision that I needed to make at that point in time. Right. So you must always have that heart for God, and that's that God, my wherever I'm working, whatever I'm doing, I'm not just doing it to earn money. Yes, money will come, all the perks will come, every other thing will come, but I'm here for a purpose. I'm here as a light, as a shining light. So that's why I need to be where you want me to be, where I will make impact, where the skills and the abilities that you have put inside of me, believe it or not, every single person here has a unique skill and ability that God has put inside of you. Every single person, no matter how worthless or no matter how helpless and hopeless you feel, there is somewhere that you will shine. There is somewhere that people will be like, wow, wow, wow. And guess what? Guess what the devil tries to do? The devil tries to throw things at you like imposter syndrome. He said, "Ah, you are not all that. Well, what do you have?" I know there are people that are doing better than you, that you don't even know what you are doing. You're just everything is just for me. You're just packaging, packaging. If people actually come close to you and see who you really are, they see that you are nothing. Guess what? Those are lies of the devil. Those are lies of the devil that tries to make you feel like you are nothing. But the truth is, you actually are. Every single person has something unique. Every single person. Every single person. I remember my it's because let me backtrack. It's because we're looking at people through particular lenses. I heard a phrase that says if you judge a fish by its ability to walk, you will never see the skills of that fish, because a fish shines in water. That's the fish's natural habitat. But if you put the fish on land, the fish will die. And then you condemn the fish and say, oh, this fish is nothing. So that's why in our career decisions, you need to go back to your maker and say, God, where am I supposed to do? Again, let me balance it. The Bible also says that whatever your hands find to do, do it. I'm not of the opinion that, oh, you'll be waiting and praying, God, show me, God, show me, God, show me. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it. And have that open heart to say, God, I'm open unto you. If you tell me today to leave this job and go and do something else, or to move into this, or not to move, whatever you tell me to do, I am open. I am open to it. Just have it in your mind that you will be led by God at every point in time. If God tells me, live here, you will live. If God tells me, stay here, I will stay. I will continually be led by God, right? oh, I spent so much time on that. But I just felt that it was important to build that foundation of having the influence of God, the influence of the supernatural, where your career decisions are concerned. Because your career is where you spend more time in your, if whether you are in the office or a business person, you actually spend more time there than you spend in your house. Yes, you want to marry, you love somebody, you want to spend the rest of your life with him. And let's even think of a typical day. A typical person resumes work at 8, right? And then let's say it's 8 to 5. You would spend at least 1 hour, depending, let's just say an average of 1 hour in traffic. So by 7, you're out of the house. If let's even say you close by 5, which more often than not, you probably won't. Sometimes you close by 5, 6, thereabouts. But let's even say you close by 5. And then you spend another 1 hour in traffic, and then you get home by 6. So you get home by 6, and then you're with your partner for, let's even say, 4 hours, 6 to 10, right? That's 4 hours. But in the office, you have spent 9 hours. You have spent 8 to 5. So the bulk of your life is spent either in a business, in a career, working, and all that. So it's very, very, very important that you get it right. It's very, very important. And I don't want to put anybody under pressure to say, oh, I must get it, I must get it. It's a journey, right? You can start out not knowing what you want. It's fine. But the most important thing is your heart. How is your heart towards God? How is your heart to say, God, I'm open to you. I'm open to be led by you. Lord, send me people that will speak to me. Lord, speak to me and help me, know what you want me to do at this particular point in time. Send people that will confirm the word that you have already told me and guide me into where you want to be. Now, even when you get there, it's possible that you can be where God wants you to be, but you are using it for your own selfish interest. Yes, you are doing well, you are shining, your abilities are coming out, you're making money and everything. Again, what I always ask God is, God, what's my purpose at this particular role? What is my purpose here? What do you want me to do? What is the light you want me to shine? I got to a point where it started getting into my head. And then one girl came to meet me in the office, and then she said, oh, Mad, I've followed, I've seen your profile on LinkedIn, I've heard your story, and blah, blah, blah. That, and honestly, to God who made me, my heart, I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for all this mentor. She was like, I want you to mentor me. I said, oh, these ones have come again. Mentor is funny. But leave me alone. And at that moment, God arrested me. God arrested me and said, you think you got here by your own strength? You think you got here by your own ability? I put you here for a purpose. And at that moment, I repented. I said, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And immediately I received her with open arms. And then, I spoke with her. I helped her on her journey and everything. I told her the things that, she needed to do and all that. And she's doing so, so well. And I'm so, so proud of her. And then, God reminds me every time I look at that girl, because of your pride, you now wanted to say, I'm not doing mentor, I'm not doing all this, blah, 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 and God does all those things to keep me humble, to say, hey, don't let it get into your head. Don't let it get into your head that you have achieved this, you have achieved, because guess what? Even where I am today is far from where I'm going. I'm still very young. I'm still in my 30s. I still have my 40s. I have my 50s, right? I still have a long journey to go. So there's no use making myself that, there's a way somebody can say, she's the head of customer supply chain in Nestle Central and West Africa. She's a big girl, but I have more years in front of me than I have behind me. And I need to be careful to be sure that, hey, I am still at the center of God's will for my life. I need to be careful that I stay where God wants me to be at every point in time. So it is not what I plan to say, but I believe that this is what God. I have my notes, so I have all the aspire to perspire. I have everything, but I just believe that this is where God wanted me to talk about. This is what God wanted me to talk about, and this is the direction that um God wanted me to go, because um it's important that we get the foundation right. And I believe that a lot of us here, we're still, at a very young stage in our careers, probably between they're just starting out or you have a few years experience and all that. So it's important that we get that right from the start. From the start, why am I working? What is my purpose here? What does God want to do through me? And the Bible says, till the earth be filled with the knowledge of God. That's God's ultimate purpose for everyone on earth, till the earth is filled with the knowledge of God. And he does that through different people. And guess what? Not everybody will be pastors, not because some people will never come to a church. Never. Some people will never, if you invite them from now to eternity, they will not come. But you are the light that will shine to them in your office. I remember one team that I worked with, and then at that point in time, I had I had about 3 Muslims in my team. And at that point, I was like, hey, God, sorry, I'm going to say this in Yoruba. I said, ìyàwó pastor tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Muslim. And I'm sorry, but I have it means that pastor's wife that has Muslims in her team. And I'm sorry that I have this bias because my mother was very zealous for God, and she had this bias for Muslim. Any Muslim in Yoruba is Imale. So if I had any Muslim friend, she'd be like, Imale, you're bringing Imale to the house. So I still have that mindset, so to speak, and God is helping me to, have a more open mindset. But guess what? I believe at that time I was sent to them because there was a time when we were having a program in church, and you know, my team members started saying, "Oh, they want to come," and I was like, "Wow, Muslims!" Like I never told them, I never preached to them, I never told them you must be born again and blah blah blah. But it's like, all right, there's something about you, there's something about your church, and I would like to come, and I'm like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Fine. The testimony is not coming. It's not like if they've converted, they are now Christians and everything. But I believe that my being in their lives planted a seed at that time. I believe so. One of them currently is not even a Muslim again. He knows that he doesn't want to be a Muslim, and he knows that Islam is not the way for him, and so he has stopped going for all their programs and stuff like that. He has stopped fasting and stuff. And then when I heard, I was just like, wow, this is actually God gradually touching his heart and all that and letting him see the light of the gospel. Right. So don't just look at, yes, a career will get to a position. You would earn the titles. Oh, I am the manager, the regional director. I'm this. You earn the title. You earn the money. I know, but ultimately, I don't want you to forget your purpose wherever you are. Ultimately, remember that I am sent. I am a sent one. I am a sent one. And again, I always try to balance things. People take this thing to the extreme. There's one guy in my office that will bring Bible, big Bible. He will not be reading Bible at all. And this guy is not performing. And I'm like, what kind of disgrace to Christianity is this? Because God has sent us as light. Which light are you shining? The light is not for you to bring Bible and for you to be reading Bible in the office or to be organizing prayer meeting. It's not that. But the work, the office is paying you for a particular work, not to be reading Bible. I don't carry Bible to the office, so. But my life is already a Bible. People are reading a Bible through my life already. It's not until I carry those fat Bibles and then I start praying, organizing prayer meeting in the office and all that people will know. No, no. But I am a light. I am a shining light where I am. And that's what we should aim to be. How can we be a light where God has planted us? And then simple things like, are we when the office is going in one, when your colleagues are going in one direction, when they are trying to scheme and cheat and everything and cut corners and all that, what do you do at that point? Do you join them? When they are gossiping about somebody and talking, backbiting somebody, do you join them? Or do you say, no, I'm a light here. I'm a city set upon a hill that cannot be hidden. But a lot of us go and join the darkness, and because we want to feel among and all that. There's one scripture that I always remember. It says that the people of this world are wiser in their generation than the people of the world, right? And what does that mean? It means that in the marketplace, people are scheming and doing all sort of things. First of all, there are people that use jazz, believe it or not. There are people that use jazz. They will bring jazz, put it under their table, put it under their. It is in this 2024. There are people that still use it. There are some people that use their words. They have a way with words. They have a way with speaking to people and all that. There's people that talk up in quotes to people. Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I will do this, sir. Yeah, doing all those eye service and all that. But we have we will not suck up. We'll say, I'm a Christian, I cannot be doing all these things. You will not do jazz. They say, I cannot do jazz, I'm a Christian. But the power that you have as a Christian, what are you using it for? What are you using it for? The power is just there, dormant, lying dormant. Oh, you're not using it. Whenever I go to Ghana, because I go there a few times, because I know that My boss is there. My boss's boss is there. All the powerhouses that have a say in my career, they are there. As I come down from the airplane, like I start scabashing. As I come down from the plane, I walk into the office. I said, I'm here to dominate. I'm here to take over. There are some meetings that I have. I will enter the meeting room and I'll start walking around the meeting room, walking around. I said, this meeting, you have no choice but to go well for me. Everybody that is going to speak, I silence every contrary voice in this meeting. I silence I do it. There are sometimes when there are some recurring meetings where, we've been trying to get away with something, it's not getting. I will start laying hands on the seat. I will start laying hands and speaking to the seat to say, whoever we sit here, I silence your voice. My voice is going to be louder than your own. Any contrary opinion that you have, it will not come to fruition in the name of Jesus. And I start laying my hands and declaring. I remember one something that I was trying to get approved. So I needed to speak with the heads of all the brands. And all the brands had approved except one particular one. This guy was just a principality and a power. I spent almost 1 hour in a meeting with him. And he kept on saying, I don't understand. This thing is not correct. I said, kind of wahala is this now? Like, so that day, so he now said, this meeting is inconclusive. I'm not going to approve it and all that. And I started thinking that God, and honestly, I will be honest with you guys. That thing that I'm doing is just a tick in the box. The truth is, if you want to try and use logic to say logically is this, is that, it will not work. I mean, I know that it will not work. So I just said, God, I need you to help me. I need you to help me. So that I fixed another meeting with him. I fixed the meeting by 7 a.m. He was in another country, so it was I think it was 9 a.m. his time or something. So I fixed the meeting by 7. I woke up 4. I started calling his name. I walked around the room. I started calling his name. I said, hear me wherever you are. Hear me. I said, this meeting that I'm coming to, you are going to agree. You are going to agree. You are going to agree. Everything that I say. And I started scabashing on the guy's head, calling him. I'm sure the guy won't even have been able to sleep wherever he was. And guess what? The mistake a lot of us Christian men will pray like that, we'll go and sleep. We'll say, oh, God will come down and solve it. But as I finished praying, I opened my laptop. I said, God, give me the wisdom that I need to tackle this meeting. And then this was after praying. I opened my laptop and then I said, okay, so I'm going to explain it to him from this point of view, from this point of view, from this point. It's the same thing I explained to him before. It's not different though. But I just said, oh, let me package it in another way. Let me say, this is the rationale for this. This is this, this is this, this is this. I entered the meeting. In 10 minutes, the guy had approved. 10 minutes. This is something that I was trying to explain to him for 1 hour in a previous meeting that we're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So that's why, when there's a scripture in the Bible that Paul said, my preaching and my teaching were not with enticing words of man wisdom, but were with the Holy Spirit and with power. There's a power in the office. There's a power that you need to bring. And it's not just power, it's a spiritual power. It's the leverage of the Holy Spirit that you need to bring wherever you are. You need to bring that power into your office because you have the power. You have it. Before I started this new role, I said, I went to the organizational chart and I looked at the people that are going to be reporting to me because me, yes, I saw when I said I have 10 years experience, I saw all of you saying, wow, 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 wow. When I got to my new department, I saw that there are some people that have 17 years. I stopped saying that I have 10 years. At that time, I had 10 years when I just joined the team. So I used to go there that, oh, I've been in Nestle for 10 years. Oh. When they started introducing themselves that I've been here for 17 years, I've been here for 19 years. I kept quiet too. I shut my mouth. Anyway, so I knew that this was a new department that I was coming to. I knew nothing about it. Absolutely not. So I was just going to start learning. And I had experienced people, veterans, that would say, who is this small girl? Yes, I was a small girl. Who is this small girl that they are bringing to this department? These are people in their 40s, right? And then they're not bringing this small girl to come ahead of. First of all, she's young. Secondly, she doesn't have experience in this thing and all that. So when I got the profile of people that are going to be reported, because people that yes, you are the manager, you can be doing like this, but your direct report, they can make or break you. They can scatter whatever. They can decide that they will scatter your work. They can. So it's not by, oh, I'm the manager, you must listen to me and blah, blah, blah. And I recognize that. I went to get their names. I started scabash. I started calling them one by one. I started calling them, scabashing. I said, you will listen to me. My voice will not be silenced. My voice will be heard in this department. I would lead you. You would submit to me in this department. I called every single one of their names. I started calling the names of my bosses. I said, I find favor. I find favor in your sight in the name of Jesus. You don't know why you are favoring me, but you just favor me. You don't know why, but I find favor. I am promoted. All my works are the best of my works are being highlighted. My mistakes are not coming to the fore. I started declaring and declaring even before I started the job. Even before I started those declarations and declarations because I knew that it's not just about yes, I'm a sharp girl. I'm not let's not mince words. I'm not lazy. I'm not a lazy person. I do my work. I do what I need to do, right? But I got not this land by my own sword. This is a scripture in I think it's Psalm 44 verse 3. It says they got not the land by their own sword, but your right hand, your arm, and the light of your countenance, because you favored them. That has been my scripture. I said, God, I got not this position by my own. I did not scheme. I did not bribe anybody. I did not sleep with anybody. I didn't even talk to anybody. But I know that I got here by your favor. So it is your own arm, your right hand. You will continually favor me wherever I go. Your favor will continually be upon me on this road. And I always acknowledge it. I always declare that I am favored. I'm favored. Even when I make mistake, I am favored because we all make mistakes. There are sometimes where I goof, serious goof. There was one goof, like I said, God, they must not find out this goof. I started praying this scripture. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and they are saved. I said, God, save me. God, save me. Oluwa, egba me, egba me. I started praying that scripture. And then God saved me. God save me. There are times when I'm dealing with things that are so difficult, and I'm like, God, I remember one year I said, God, if you can bring me through this month, I can pass anything in this office. I can. Guess what? God brought me through that one. The next month, what I faced was even harder than what I was. I said, okay, God just wants me to keep leaning on Him and leaning on Him and leaning on Him because He will keep guiding you and bringing you out. There are times when everybody doesn't have the solution to something, but you are there as a solution provider. To be the person in your office that say, when everybody is trying to, oh, how can I do that? They should say, go and meet Falabi, go and meet Busayo, go and meet Emmanuel. They will have the solution for this thing. And you may not have the solution there and then, but like Daniel, you say, give me some time. I need to pray about this thing. There are times when you will need to go into the toilet. When you're having a difficult time, go into the toilet and scabash. Again, me, I don't subscribe to people staying on their desk and doing scabashing, but the people just at the end of we work with people. We don't work with spirits. You work with human beings. You don't want to start drawing unnecessary attention to yourself. But there's a way you can even start praying under your breath, you know, and then you can start praying that God help me. God help me, God help me in this kind of thing. I don't know the solution. I need to, make a headway in this thing. I need an invention. I need a solution to this. And this is really how people get promoted. You get promoted because you bring solutions to difficult problems. There's something I'm dealing with right now. And I know that this thing is the key to my next move. I know it's a very, very big challenge, very big challenge. But I'm just praying that God open my eyes. I need to solve this thing. I need to solve this thing. And it's problem solvers that move ahead. It's problem solvers. It's not just, someone once told me that if you are doing your job, you'll get a salary for it. But if you are solving problems that are bigger than you, if you are solving problems at your boss's level, then you will get promoted, right? And this actually played out because when I was working, when I was backing up for my boss that was pregnant, I had already demonstrated that I could do work beyond my current level. I could do work at a higher level. And so when she moved, it was very easy for them to put me in her position. Why? Because I had demonstrated that I could do work. A lot of people are expecting to get promoted because they are doing their work. No, you are doing your work and you get paid for it. That's why you are getting a salary. But to get promoted, you need to demonstrate that you can do this level of work. At least, not that you can do 100% of it, but at least you can do a part of it. You have demonstrated something higher than where you currently are, which is what you need to focus on. So wherever you find yourself, always say, what is my boss doing? Always ask, what are you doing? What are you working on? Which presentation are you doing? Which analysis are you doing? Can I know? Can I learn? And at this stage in your career, your primary goal should be to learn, 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 learn. In fact, I don't want to say at this stage, at every single stage in your career, learning should be paramount because what knowledge they say is power. And I know it's a cliche. Everybody says it. Oh, knowledge is power, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. But ensure that wherever you find yourself, whatever field you are, whether you are in fashion, whether you are in hairdressing, whether you are in, social sciences or whatever it is, even content creation, there's always something new, always something new. And you need to ensure that you are always at the forefront. What is new? What is new in my industry? What do I need to learn? Right? If you're new in a particular job and all that, your primary goal should not be, oh, I've gotten a job, I'm earning money, I'm doing 9 to 5, is to glean all that you can. And don't limit yourself to just your department. Okay, if you say, oh, I was employed as an executive assistant, I will only do my work. Be curious, because tomorrow you could be in another department. Right? Be curious. Ask them, what do they do? Oh, how do you do what you do? Oh, can I help you for you 1 day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Learn a bit about everything. My MD, everybody respects him so much because even though he's the MD and the MD is a general manager, he can tell me my job. The other day, we had a meeting and there was a back and forth between him and my boss. And he started telling, and my boss was trying to bobo him, in supply chain. Yeah, we have a lot of supply chain jargons and we can bobo anybody wants to bobo. My boss was trying to bobo him and all that. My MD just stopped. He said, this is how it works. And he gave it breakdown A, B, C, D, T. So he said, so don't tell me that the room was quiet. The room was quiet. And everybody's like, MD. You know, and that's how he is. And everybody respects him because he's the MD, but he doesn't just sit there, oh, I'm the MD, I'm the MD. He understands supply chain, he understands sales, he understands finance, he understands HR, he understands legal. Like, he has an understanding of, so nobody can come and bobo him and come and say, oh, this is what we are doing. No, and how do you learn it? Simply by asking questions, by curiosity, by reading books, getting into sessions, courses, and all that, right? But primarily, if you find yourself in an office, ask questions, especially if you are new. Even if you are not new, ask, what do you do? Why? Why are you doing it like this? Why are you not doing it the other way? Okay, what is the advantage of doing it this system? What is the process of doing this thing? Ask, 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 ask away. Very, very important. And then listen, take notes. These are the things that this is the way we do this thing, this is how we do it, and blah blah blah. Take all those notes, glean as much as you can, because your knowledge would always be helpful. Always. I remember when I was younger in my career, and people still say it till now that when Ore is presenting, and what did I know? I just knew numbers. And because I was in planning at that point in time. So when I get up to a presentation, I'll be like, oh, last year we grew by 20%. In the next month, we're planning to grow by 10%, which is much lower than our 20% growth. Looking at the other categories, Golden One is growing by this. I knew numbers. And and at that time, I didn't even know what I was doing. But everybody was looking like, this girl knows some, it's numbers. It's not bad, but they will be nodding their head like Agama Lisa. Why? Because I had knowledge. I was not just, limited to where I found myself, right? I started knowing a bit about what other people are doing. I started asking questions and, using all those things to take decisions, right? So when people look at you and they know that, oh, you're not just all about supply chain. When it comes to something like HR, you can speak. When it comes to other departments, you can speak. Again, of course, primarily where you find yourself, focus on that where you find yourself first. Don't just go in about learning all sorts of things everywhere. You'll be confused, right? But wherever you find yourself, primarily learn what that department and what that team is about. And then you now start picking from other departments. Oh, what do they do? Don't say, oh, it's HR's business, or and then you switch off when they're doing their presentations or when they're doing their meetings and all that. Learn as much as you can. That's your power in this season. Learn as much as you can, so that, because you never know where you will need it. You never ever know. You might be asked to move to another role where is the knowledge or the skills that you have learned in the previous one that will, take you where you need to be. I know that my time is far, 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 far spent. And honestly, I just believe I was led by God to talk in this direction. I had all my notes, so everything that I wanted to talk about, I had everything. I had everything, but I just believe that God wanted me to focus on the foundation today and getting the foundation right and getting to know that God is the foundation of your career, right? God is the foundation. And wherever you find yourself, because you will grow. And with God, you will grow. You will get to all those levels. You will. You will. But always ask yourself, what is my purpose here? What is the light that I'm called to shine here? Where will my skills and ability? You don't just want to earn a salary, but you want to earn a salary doing something that you love, something that where your skills and abilities will be maximized, right? Because God has put a skill and an ability in every single one of us. And maybe if you are hating your job at this point in time, maybe it's not where you're supposed to be at that point in time. Or maybe it could be a training for where God eventually is leading you to. But please, I want every single person here, always acknowledge God in your career decisions. Always ask God, pray, God, what do you want me to do at this time? How can I, even while I am waiting for that dream job, for that Oracle, for that Microsoft and Google and everything, what am I supposed to be doing now? How do I shine the light where I am currently now? Lord, lead me and guide me. I want to be in the center of your will for my life. I want to be a light wherever I am to spread the gospel around the whole earth. I hope that we have learned something or two. Maybe another time, if you invite me, I can go back to my notes and all the things that I have written and all the things that you should do to get ahead in your career. But I just believe that this is what God wanted me to focus on at this particular time. So thank you so much, and it was a pleasure being here with you all.
My goodness.
This meeting is
To
being
be-
recorded.
To be honest, I'm not sure what to say right now because that was super, super amazing. That was super amazing. Thank you so much, Mrs. A. Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. A, for that. As you were speaking, there were so many things that were coming to play in my career life, like my journey, the things that I've seen, some of the things that have happened to me, some that I have, leveraged the Holy Spirit, some that I have not. And, just seeing that this is what you could have done. Like, Olamide, you literally just stressed yourself, or, okay, well done, you did this right. So when you were talking about the one of the head of brands that gave you issues in terms of a decision that was to be made, it reminded me of my time at my former place of work where I was to launch a product and I had a packaging design I wanted to go with, but the rest of the team, and when I say the rest of the team, the entire leadership and just some other guys were of the opinion that we should use another one. Mind you, this other one was very ugly. It was horrible to look at. And I told myself then that, Olamide, if you have to go with this design, you are going to check out of this, you're literally going to check out of this brand. And at that point, I didn't know what to do. So there was just one person that I was, looking up to as, okay, this is somebody that is like a mentor, so to speak, in this industry. And I asked the person, and the person is like, Olamide, go with your design. Da, 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 da. Later on, she comes, Olamide, I think I see what everybody is saying. You should go with this design. I was like, God, okay. And I said, you know what? We're not going to argue. Everybody is on this side. Maybe they're saying something you're not saying. I mean, these people are more experienced and all of that. And I agreed. And it was a weekend. For some reason, I still wasn't comfortable. And I prayed to God, okay, God, how do I, I don't know, should I stay with this or should I fight for what I really believe in? And God gave me a reference point to another brand we had launched. And there were just a lot of technical things there. And I just prayed and God literally gave me an idea on how to handle it. And I just asked, okay, from production end, if I go with this packaging, will my machine work for it? And that was literally it. And they told me there's a possibility the machine will not work with this design that everybody wants. And then on Monday morning, God told me, okay, put this, put that in the design. Like, just try it. Now, it sounds like I was so sure of what God was saying, but then it was just like an idea. And I told the designer put it. I went back to my MD, presented it to him, and I was like, Then I was like, okay, boss, zoom in, you see this, that, which was the last minute thing that God had told me. And he immediately jumped up, went to the bigger screen and was like, amazing, I love this design. And that was literally how he shifted. Then every other person on the team, they had a senior managerial team that I was not in. And he was literally the one pushing for this other design that I wanted. And right now, I've left the company. I didn't launch the product, but they are launching with the design I wanted. And this just goes to, speak to what you said, that sometimes you pray to God to help you, and then you sit on how do you go about it. So thank you so much, Mrs. A. God bless you. God bless you for this. God bless you. Please, does anybody have any question, any comments? I mean, yeah, now is a good time to take it. Can everyone hear me? I can't seem to hear anybody. Okay, so do you have any question? Oluwaseun, over to you. I see your hands are up. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sean, you can speak now.
My God.
Sean, we can't hear you if you're speaking. Hello? Can everyone hear Sean? Is it my network? Okay, Sherry, for me, you can go. I think she's trying to join again or something.
Okay. Hello, Mrs. A. Thank you so much for the wisdom that you have dropped. I have a question, right? So for people who are working remotely, how do we like put ourselves out in front of like our bosses? Because more often than not, we just get to work from home. And so, I mean, I always just wonder, okay, I know my work is already speaking for me, but I would want to do more. I would want to socialize more. I mean, we were socializing at some point. I think between 2020, 2021, it was good. I mean, when I joined the organization, and yeah, people know me and everything. They know to a large extent my strength and things that I can do and all that. But like right now, I'm in a new position, doing something completely different from or yeah, from what I initially got into the organization for. They wanted to basically challenge me to see if I'll be able to deliver on this. And so far, so good. To the glory of God, I have been delivering because it's a completely new line that the organization started and wanted to start. So aside just saying I want my work to speak for me, which is already doing, how do I socialize with the top executives? How do I, be in their faces, such that I'm also providing solutions when they need to make a decision concerning something, while working from home. Thank you.
All right. Shay, for me, I think that was such a beautiful question. And it's something I had to deal with when I started working remotely per se, because suddenly I'm not in the faces of these guys that are the big shots, right? Even though I still go to Ghana sometimes, right? But I'm not constantly in their faces, and so I found out that at some point I was now feeling like, okay, I wasn't being seen as often as I wanted and all. And I will talk on something I'm currently working on. So initially I thought about it. I said, how can I make my work more visible? And to be honest, my boss really helped. My boss really helped in this aspect. But I wouldn't talk about what my boss did, because not everybody would have the type of boss I did. So I started thinking that what can I do to bring more visibility to myself? And then I looked within my department and I said, what are the pain points that the organization is having, and what is the visibility I can bring um, to one, to the issues that are happening that are not really coming to the fore, and two, to the good things that I'm doing, right? So let me start with the second one. The good thing that I'm doing, I just had to sit down once and I said, okay, what have I achieved? Honestly, I felt like I've not achieved anything. But the more you think about it, the more there's something I want to say, but I don't want it to be taken in the other direction, right? It's I will call it packaging. Now, what we have out there is a lot of people that they don't have anything, but they package. Imagine you package an empty carton and wrap it very well with ribbons and everything and put it on the shelf. That's what a lot of people are doing. They are packaging nonsense. But guess what? The people that now have something inside, we're now packaging ourselves inside nylon, inside that dustbin nylon they used to tie uh, trash. That's how we are packaging ourselves. If you are in a store, who will you go for? If you see dustbin nylon and if you see something wrapped and all, of course that's why people are trooping towards the nicely packaged something. So I said, there are a couple of things that I'm doing, right? And I learned this from I joined a session with other people in my role from other countries. You see how they used to, and this is something we all need to learn. You see how they package. I say, I'm doing this now. I'm doing this, but they will present it. They will say, oh, I've achieved this, I've achieved this, I've achieved it. And I'll be looking at them like they say, well, I did more than this. But guess what? I did not package myself well. I did not, because I'm doing it and I'm just keeping quiet. But I didn't talk about what I was doing. So I now started documenting, and then I wrote, okay, I did this in my time. I did this, I did this, I did this. And then I now started putting numbers to it. Because numbers give credibility. Numbers always give credibility. So let me try and find an example that everyone will be able to relate with. Okay, so in one of the warehouses, we're able to partner with the customer, and then we call it bad goods. Bad goods are like goods expiring or getting spoiled or destroyed and everything. So, initially the presentation said, oh, reduced bad goods. And I told my team, I said, no, we need to put a number to this bad goods reduction. So I said, even if it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, I said, go and find what their bad goods was 2 years ago. And then after we implemented it, all their bad goods. Fine, what we did not contribute 100% to the reduction in bad goods, but we had a part in that. And we're putting it there. We're saying, oh, 50% reduction in bad goods as a result of this, blah, blah, blah. 20% increase in revenue from this. So I just did a slide and then I put all those numbers. And in that slide, I presented it there was a forum where I had a session, right? And I just added that, I just chipped in that slide to say, oh, I just wanted to present a success story on something that we achieved. So we did this with a customer and then we're able to do 50% in this, 20% in this, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't require you to be physically there, right? This is a session that I already have. I believe that, Che, for me, you have meetings, right? Where you have to talk, you have to speak, you have to give a report on something. If you don't have a meeting, there are also emails. Your aim is to let them know your name. Shei for me. They can know your name by a presentation or by a report. So the second thing I did is I decided that, oh, I have access to so much data, and data is king in this point in time, in this day and age, right? And I said, I need to bring out that visibility. So I came up with a report on all the customers that I manage. Oh, I said, oh, what are their KPIs? What's their product ordering cycle? What's the how fresh are the products they have with them? How often do they return? Blah blah blah. I decided to put some comments and I just sent this to the bosses to say, oh, they're all. Please find attached a report by the team on the customers that we manage and blah, blah, blah. And then I gave highlights. Oh, the highlights are that customer A, B, and C are the ones leading, but their finances are deteriorating. And so we need to, I just put just like simple one pager, and I sent it. Email is free. Email is free. Nobody will ever stop you from sending it. So I sent it to them and then I started sending it, periodically, right? And of course, they might not see anything, but when you stop sending it, and of course, ensure that what you are doing is something that would add value and insights that they probably not see. If you can do Power BI, do a Power BI report. You can do a nice presentation with nice graphics and all that, do that, but try and bring a visibility, and sometimes it might require you having to sit down to think for a while. You might be thinking about it for a month or two or something. What am I doing in my role, and what visibility can I bring to the bosses that they don't already have? And look for data that you have access to, because the bosses are not the ones that work on the data down to the nitty gritty, right? Okay, we're doing a product, or maybe you're a product manager. You say, okay, this month 20 people logged in, or 20 people, or the complaints were coming in this direction, or the requests were coming in this, but something that you have access to that can help the bosses to take this, because they need that information to be able to take the right decisions. And if they don't have the visibility at the ground level, they will not be able to take the right decision. So something that helps them and brings insight, that opens their eyes to say, oh, based on what this thing I'm handling, this is the visibility I see. And so I recommend this. Somebody came to meet me at work yesterday, and she was angry that her boss shouted on her in the meeting and blah, blah, blah. What did she do? What did she do that she do? And then she explained to me what she did, and she was just presenting a report. And I said, I know your boss. I know your boss very well. And your boss is dealing with a particular KPI that has been read. Now, she went to present that KPI to say, okay, and guys, what can we do about it? I said, you needed to go into that meeting with solutions, because your boss is at the top. He will prefer solutions and all that, but do have a higher power to prefer a solution, because you are the one interacting with the data. You are the one that knows the root causes, right? You are the one that can propose solution. Yes, you might propose a solution that he will say no, but you might also propose a solution that he will fine tune to say, okay, let's not do it this way, but let's take half of what you said, but change the other half and all that. You need to be a solution provider. You need to be. So ensure that in those forums where you have interactions with the bosses, what are you saying? If I have presentation to Mancom, our management committee, I spend like 3 days preparing for my presentation, because I know that I don't have this opportunity all the time. But I want my name to be in their mouth. And I think I've done like let me see how many presentations today, maybe 4 or 5. And I wasn't yet, I was at a point, I was like, these people, maybe they don't know my name, especially because I'm not even there. I'm not physically in Ghana, and then the last time I went to Ghana, I entered the elevator with one of them, and he just said, oh, all right, how are you? I said, who's my name, Sha? Another one said, oh, all right, how are you? Oh, when did you come? I said, oh, wow. So they even know that I'm not in Nigeria, because we have so many people in the office. And how would they know that one girl is coming from Nigeria to Ghana and blah, blah, blah? Like, they know me. Why? This is why, because when I have presentations with them, even if it's one say yeah, let that one say yes stick, right? Let it be an avenue where you highlight your achievements. Even if the purpose of the meeting is not to highlight your achievement, chip in something. Sorry, let me digress a bit. So one of our bosses in Switzerland came to Ghana, and this is something that my colleague did. So people were presenting to the boss when she came to Ghana and saying blah 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 blah. And then the boss, this lady now asked the question. My colleague has worked in Amazon before. So as they asked the question, the answer that she was giving, it was not the answer to the question. Oh, she was like, oh, when I was in Amazon, we did this, we did that, we did that. Guess what? She has chipped in to the boss that, I'm an Amazon material. I'm not a local champion. I've worked internationally and all that. Even though what she said was not 100% equal to the question that was asked. But guess what? That boss remembers that there's this lady that works in Amazon there. And you need to be quick with those things to chip in. What are the things that you have done? Oh, last year we did this, we did this. I was able to achieve this and all that. You need to not be shy about talking about yourself and what you have done. Sometimes it can be an email. Oh, you know how people used to shine on LinkedIn? I'm excited to announce. I'm excited. You need to be excited to announce too in your office. You did something. Send an email and then send an email to your boss and your boss's colleagues. Oh, that announced that we're able to achieve this. We hit it in record time and blah blah blah. Oh, thank you to the team, and then you acknowledge everybody. Thank you to the team that made it happen. This. We're able to achieve increase in revenue. Shine your light. Talk about it. Your work itself. Yeah, sometimes your work will speak, but it's the human being that will speak. more for your work. And so you need to find, even though they might be few and far between, there are always those opportunities between presentations and emails to ensure that you highlight and make sure there's something that you have done. No, it's not that you'll be packaging empty box. Make sure that there's something that you have done, and then you can. And sometimes it might require you thinking about, okay, how do I package this appropriately? There's still one I'm thinking about now that I said after I finish this meeting, I'll go and package something that I did. I found a solution that was it's end of H1. Yeah, it's a very big period. H1, like end of June, is the first half of the year. So we usually report H1 results, right? And there was a sales that we're looking for because one country was about to miss their sales and they didn't have any solution. And I just thought about something. I said, I can move. There was another country that if we do the sales for one reason or another, it won't be recorded this month. So I said, why can't we move that sales that will not be recorded? So move it. We don't have to do that sales this year. I can move it to this other country that the sales will be recorded this year, And I gave the solution and all that. And everybody was like, wow, 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 wow. As I finish this meeting, I'm going to send a mail. I'm going to send a mail to all the people confirm that, oh, wow, we've been able to find a solution for them, blah, blah, blah. We are now, everybody will say, oh, thank you, already. Thank you, already. Thank you. I'm letting my light shine. I'm shining the things that I have done. Because you need to ensure that those little things, you talk about it. Sometimes it might require you documenting the things that you have done. There was a year I actually had to do that. I was writing down, okay, I've done this, I did this, I did this, I did it. Those little, send mail. Don't be shy because it's you, you are the one that did it. Don't be shy to tell everybody, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did that, blah, blah, blah. Don't be shy. Those are the type of positive politics that you must play. You must not play the backbiting and talking bad about people and blah, 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 but highlight the things that you are doing. And again, highlight the impact. It's not just about, I did this, I did it, I did that. Remember what I said about numbers, right? Highlight, oh, I did this that resulted in 20% reduction in cost, that resulted in 2% increase in revenue, or that resulted in consumer engagement, customer interaction, or whatever your KPIs are, right? Make sure that you highlight the impact of the thing you need, not just the thing, you're not just talking, I did this, I did this, I did this, but the impact of the things that you are doing. Make sure you highlight it. Sheifumi, I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, you have. And I think one part that you mentioned was the H1 report. So I realized that I've been sending emails, recording my success, but I did not copy CEO, right? And some other people. So I've already sent those emails. But what thing I can do, it's already H1 that you said you're working on your report. So I could do like a January to June reports, highlighting those successes and just painting a story with it and copying all of them.
Yes. Yeah. The truth is, let me tell you, not all bosses will like it. Like your direct report, your line manager. Some people might not like it. Oh, why are you copying the CEO and then send it first? Then let them come back to you to say, why did you copy the CEO? Don't copy it, but you have sent it. You have sent it. The CEO, you have made, and make sure that it's a very good report. That when the CEO sees it, be like, so this is what at least you have sent it. They cannot tell you to record at that point. Yeah, but it can say, send it through me or something or blah, blah, but at least that first one, it has gone. And somebody has seen what you have done already.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. I'm sure that was very detailed, and even for me, I got quite a number of things. So, Oluwaseun, I know you raised your hand earlier. Are you ready to speak? Okay,
maybe
Ajali, you can go ahead.
Just type. Maybe if she can type, I think she's still having issues with her audio. So if you can type it.
Okay, Sean, please, you can drop it in the chat box. Ajali, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, let me just start by saying thank you to Mrs. A. It's been a very impactful session. As you were talking, I had the opportunity to intern at Nestle, albeit in the factory in Agbara. And while I was there, I interacted with people who most of the time, to an extent, maybe let me say general staff who probably had been around for 15, maybe 20 years, right?
Yep.
But by the time you start coming up towards the managerial area, you
Mm-hmm.
discover that most of the time, in most cases, most of the people at the managerial level are maybe only spent maybe like a year, 2 years, probably, and then they are moved, or sometimes in some cases lose their jobs because I'm sure you already know that to an extent, as nice as Nestle can be, they can also be very brutal, right?
Mm.
In some cases, they can also seem a bit toxic, right? So I just wanted to know, I'm just curious to know how have you been able to manage your longevity, across this length of time? Because 10 years, or over 10 years in a place like Nestle is actually no small feat, most especially when you now look at it in the part of someone coming through the managerial ranks.
Okay, so I wish I had met you, Ajali, when you were in Nestle. But like you said, yeah, it can be quite toxic. And I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very, very honest with you. Sometimes the factory can be very different from the head office, right? Very different because
Yeah.
factory dynamics are different. Even sales, the guys on the field, right? It can be very different. So let me talk a bit from the factory perspective. I wouldn't talk from head office because head office we're all in the head office, we're wearing heels, we're in AC, walking up and down and stuff. And I know how factory people look at head office. They will tell then they used to tell me, come to the factory, you are just there sending email, telling us to do this, blah, blah, blah. Come to the factory, And there was a period in my career that I used to come to the factory every week because I was in demand and supply planning. So I was the DSP manager. So I would come and have planning meeting with all the heads of all the
Supply
production
chain.
managers, supply chain manager, factory manager. Who was factory manager when you were there?
Rakesh Verma.
Oh, that's a while then.
Yeah,
That's a
2015.
while.
That was
Ah,
2015.
okay. Okay, because Rakesh was there okay. And I now understand. Rakesh's period was very toxic. And
Uh,
Rakesh was let go. Okay, so down to your question, right? I would talk from the factory perspective because I have a lot of friends in the factory that have also, grown through the ranks and they're like my age, right? So really, I would say that when you are focused on doing your work and doing it well, it shines through. It actually
mhm,
shines through because even for us when we're sitting in calibration, uh, calibration is like what would I call it now, like a performance evaluation, right? When we
mhm,
sit in calibration and we talk about factory because factory there are a lot of people on the lines and everything, there are so many people, but every once in a while you have that one person that, oh, this person is different. This person has not conformed with the culture. So there's a culture of, okay, there's actually a toxic culture that you can get sucked into. But
mhm.
remember what I said at the beginning, that you can focus on being the different one and saying, what is my purpose here? What is the light that I'm coming to shine here? There's a lot of scheming, backbiting, and all that stuff that
Yeah,
comes into play, really. But you need to determine that you will distance yourself from all that is going on at that point in time. I will give an example. I don't have a factory example. I'll give an example of head office. Now, in the head office, in some certain roles, you have access to money. Like money, you have budget. They're supposed to
yeah,
run a campaign. You're supposed to, disburse some funds to this, and Christians have disgraced themselves for how much? 5 million, 2 million. Yes, it might seem like a lot of money, but they have lost their name. There's somebody that is a pastor, and the things that this guy is involved in is literally a disgrace to Christianity. And for me, when the Bible says a good name is better than riches, right? And
yeah,
really, the money will finish one day, but I'm more interested in, having my name, extend for years and years and years and years. And really, how I have been able to, remain relevant over these years is I have been consistent. Ask anybody about Ore. I have been consistent over the years. I know my values and I stick to my values. And I'm not shy. I'm not shy to, say what I think, say what I want. The other day, somebody was telling me something that, when I used to come to the factory, that Ore, once they hear Ore is coming, everybody will be shaking. I said, me, it's not me now. They were like, yes, they used to terrorize us and everything. For me, it wasn't terrorism. I just used to, if I see something that is not right, I will say it. And factory people like hiding. They'll be, the line is not running. Say the line is not running. So, and they did not like me because I would say, the line has been down. It is not producing. And I'll bring the numbers. I will always bring the numbers. I'll say, this is the capacity of the line, and this is the output of the line. Factory manager will say, no, was already saying it. I said, but this is I did the graph, right? Last week we were producing this week we produced this, so that's me. I was always as open and as clear as a book. One day the MD came to me and I said, all right, I like how you challenge the factory. I like how, you are open and everything. I don't do all this, scheming and blah, 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 and blah, blah. Say it as it is. This is what we're expecting and this is what and visibility is what key stakeholders always appreciate. Key stakeholders appreciate. Now, some people may not like it, especially the ones that you are exposing, right? So make sure that you always have your boss on your side. Because me, I always had my boss on my side. My boss would say it, what is it? Talk, present it, do it, send a mail and all that. So me, I've always been very open and I've tried to, stick with my values. I don't mix with the
Cut
crowd
corners.
and say, okay, oh, they're all doing this, let me do this. No, I just try to remain consistent also.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you, Ajali. So
Yeah.
our time is fast spent, and we wouldn't want to keep Mrs. A for much longer. So if you have any questions, please, you can send us a DM on Instagram. If you're a part of the community, you can also send your questions to any of the admins, and we would be sure to pass it across. Please, who here knows that we need to bring Mrs. A back? I think we need to bring her back. We'll definitely work something out. This for the community session, we'll work something out. But thank you so much, Mrs. A, for your time, for your wisdom. I mean, I'm sure you already know that it was beautiful. It was really insightful. Someone sent me a DM. I was really grateful. I mean, she wasn't sure she could make it today, but she, did all her best, and she's really grateful for that. So thank you so much again. And to everyone on the call, thank you for staying and sticking to the end. I trust that this is going to help our career. It's going to help a lot of the decisions we make. Just to recap, first off, the foundation of everything is in God. And I mean, God is our ultimate, He's our help, and He's really the one that we can ask for wisdom, for guidance, for, protection. So go forth and shine your light as a Christian in the marketplace. If you need to reach out to anybody, we're SWI_online on Instagram. This session has also been it's been recorded and it's also live on YouTube, so you can check our page out on YouTube to just catch up. Please, you need to go back to listen and listen and listen again till it really sinks in. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely weekend and holiday next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.